Hey, we made it to week 10. Yes, we made it to week 10. Listen, it's session 10. We're so excited. Oh, it's been a journey. We started with, the Sabbath rest, and then the whole week about honoring your parents, and then the adultery week, and then the murder week. Oh, murder almost took me out. It almost killed me. No pun intended. Listen, it's been an amazing journey, and I'm so glad you made it to the end. Listen, I'm so excited. Here's the deal. You would think we would get to the last one, and that the last one will get, kind of light, kind of easier. No, this last one is thou shalt not covet. Oh, but it looks so good. Oh, the 9/11. Oh, listen, those things that you want, that you just gotta have, that you just can't live without, you can answer that question with anything other than God. You already see where I'm going with this one. You're coveting. He closes it and he says, it's about loving me, and it's about loving one another and putting nothing else in front of me, not even the 9/11. So it's gonna be a good night. We're gonna have a good time. And before we do that, can I get the keys to this thing, please? I don't want the car note, I just want the keys. Ain't nobody say nothing. This is a nice little lineup, but one of these things are not like the other. I tell you that. This is Volkswagen, but hey, I love Volkswagen too. I tell you, we take it out. It's gonna be a good time tonight. Where all these people come from? This is great. Session 10. Yes. Hey, welcome to week 10. You made it to week 10. Yes, we made it, y'all. Oh my goodness. Listen, thank you so much for being a part of this journey. All the way from week 1 to week 10, you can see God's hand just guiding us and leading us and just, I don't know about you, but it stretched me in so many ways to see the 10 Commandments as a love letter written in stone, a father's love for his children as he invites us into how to love him well and how to love him back for his goodness and his faithfulness. And just when you thought he was gonna land it softly, we get to this week, thou shalt not covet. So ladies, are y'all ready to jump in? Are y'all ready to jump in with this one? Y'all ready to talk? Y'all like, no. I can only handle so much conviction at one time. But let's start off fun. Let's start off light. I wanna hear some I had to have it stories. It's like something that you just had to have.
So when I was furnishing my house, there was these 2 lamps called the Cranes of Happiness. I wanted it to be in like Asian flair. And so they were hand painted lamps from the Franklin Mint that you had to order, special order, and they came with a certificate of authenticity, and they were $300 a piece back in like 1985. And I remember my husband or Jasmine's dad saying, don't order no $300 lamps, but I did. And I ordered them anyway.
You gotta love, that's why I love a multi-ethnic church. A black woman with an Asian flair lamp. She's talking about back, and that's what I'm talking about. All right, who else?
Okay, so when I was growing up, my parents didn't have a lot of money. And so like back then, like Nike Air Max and like the British Knights and Fila, they were all like popular shoes, but we couldn't get them. Or we would go to Payless and get like the, unnamed brand kids or the kids without the kid's name on them or whatever.
So they wouldn't be kids, they'll be like Kitty.
They would be like blank. So I remember one time it wasn't called Foot Locker, it was some kind of athletic shoe store, and they were having like this huge sale. And I had begged my mom for years for a pair of Nikes, right? So we go in the store and they had some Nikes for $19.99, but they were all white. And I am a size 8. And I bought a 9.5. All white, orthopedic looking Nike shoe because I had to have something with Nike on it. I thought I was like good. Yeah. But when I got to school and I looked at how like my 9.5 boat looking Nike shoes compared to like Air Max, I was like,
You look like a nurse going to go take care of
right.
somebody.
It didn't work out.
No offense to nurses, but y'all got to wear comfortable shoes.
Yeah,
They
were comfy. They were not cute at all.
Well, that's good. That kept you single until I met you. That's good. In the book of Philippians, Paul talks about this idea. Philippians chapter 4, verse 12, he says, I know what it is to be in need, and I know what it is to have plenty. I have learned the secret of being content in any and every situation, whether well-fed or hungry, whether living in plenty or living in want. I can do all this through him who gives me strength. It's the famous passage, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. It's amazing, as much as I've heard that passage, I never really hear it in its context. I think about it, I can take a test, I can climb Mount Everest, I can do, you think about it. But he's saying, I use the power of Christ to bring contentment in my life. We live in a time where coveting is at an all-time high. Because you can see someone else's life on Instagram. You can see someone else's life on Facebook. You can see someone else's life in class, and you're consistently always wanting another thing. The question is, what's the difference between wanting and coveting? Well, wanting, when wanting becomes, I have to have it. I just gotta have it. I gotta be, and this could be, we talking about cute stuff like dolls and toys, but when you talk about that job or that house or marriage or children or more money or this outfit or this image, whenever something becomes so, I just have to have it. And if I don't have it, oh my goodness, if I don't get it, my day won't be right if I don't have it, or my life won't be the same. I can't live without it. Now you've gotten into the danger territory because you want it so bad, you want it more than God. It's the idea that when you want something so bad, here's when it gets me. When you don't get it, it ruins your day. When you don't get it, now you're discouraged. You look at someone else's Instagram and you're coveting their life and looking at them, and now you're thinking about what you don't have and what you don't have. And now you've missed an opportunity to bring God glory through the day because you have now given your affections over to something that you don't have. You're now coveting something you don't have. It's amazing. It's a thin line between wanting and coveting, and the big difference is your heart. It's a big difference because the thing that you want then now has you, and it's consumed you. How many times have you given your day away and you're discouraged in the day because of something you don't have, or something that someone else has a talent that I don't have, someone else has a gift that I don't have, someone else, and you desire, and really what Paul is saying, you need to get to a place where you've learned to be content in having a lot and having a little. Because when you covet, you literally look at your heavenly Father. You look at that, and then you look at God, and you say, God, you're not enough. You're not sufficient, and I want something more than what you're providing for me. I'm coveting God. You're doing a pretty good job, but I want more. I want more than, Paul says, even in times where there's a lack, even in times where there's not abundance, there's a contentment that's found in God and in God alone. And you should always be able to look up to heaven and say, God, you are enough for me. But when you find yourself desiring more, discouraged because of what you don't have, or wanting something so bad that it's consuming your day, you are literally sending a message, SOS to God and to heaven saying, God, you're not enough. You're not sufficient. I'm not trusting in what you've provided. How do you learn to be, I don't even have enough. How do you learn to be content in not enough? And if you have plenty, if you know in the season of your life where you have plenty, then you know whenever you have plenty, all you want is a little more. Oh, if I could just have a little more. I got the house I want, but it didn't come with the floors that I like. Or I got the house, but I need to change the paint. Or I got the car, but now I want the radio. And it's like, it's always a little more. He says, I've learned to be content. How do you learn to be content? It's the process of saying enough. Being able to practice pushing back the hand and say, enough. Where are the areas in your life right now, in this season of your life right now, where are you learning to be content?
I think for me, the biggest thing right now is motherhood and just contentment in just myself as a mother, my abilities as a mother, but it's just so easy to compare yourself to other women that you think are like, the best moms, or like, just killing it and can do everything and all this stuff, or like make things or something, you know what I mean? Like, seriously, and just feeling some kind of way about that. But I think that what I'm learning in the season that I'm in now is that his grace is sufficient, to rely on him in his grace, because I'm not a perfect mother. No one is, even the people that make things. But just to be content with the gifts that I have, and what I bring to my children as a mother, like being content in that his grace is sufficient. It's not just about me, and just, being content, not trying to be like this person or look at their kids, they do that, or, that's my struggle these days.
That's good. Charlene, what about you?
I feel like at this point, I'm just trying to be content with like where God has me. Yeah. I feel like I was just praying for a long time for things to come or things to change, and now they're coming, but not in the form that I want them to be. It's like, God, I wanted a new job, and then he gave me one, but it's going to be in Texas. And it's like, I don't want to go to Texas. Like, I'm on Facebook and people are there and they're talking about the things that they're doing, and they're graduating from school and they're getting degrees. And it's like, well, God, like I got my degree. Why can't I like do something here? Like, why can't you give me what it is that I want? And so I guess I'm learning to be content with him giving me what it is that I need necessarily, and what it is that he has for me, and not compare myself to other people, because my story is not going to be somebody else's story. But at the end of the day, like it's so hard to be content and to be happy, because I feel like, look, this is not what I want, So.
What about you, Judy?
I think that as you age, it makes me think about the physical limitations that come, and feeling like, wow, I used to do this and I used to do that, and learning how to be content with the things I still can do, and enjoy those to the fullest, because I've seen the cycle of life and things don't typically get easier. So somewhat preparing and enjoying and really appreciating what I can do at this moment.
So for all of my life, young and adult, I've always had a male figure in my life, whether it be, I was blessed to have two fathers, a stepfather and a natural father, and then, boyfriends, and then a husband. So basically for all of my years, most of my years, I've never been without some form of male companionship. So now that it's been a good little while since I've had that, I have to really release it and let it go, and realize, I really do have everything I need. I'm not necessarily incomplete without a male companion.
Oh, not at all.
But I've gotten to the point where, okay, I'll just be a one lady show, until such a time, if he decides, or if it's within his will to hook me up with a companion, then that's the way it'll be. Otherwise, I'm good.
Yeah, and until he hooks you up, no hooking up.
Oh, you don't have to worry about that. You don't have to worry about that, no.
I think the idea here is God is saying, I am your God. I brought you up out of Egypt. I'm going to take good care of you. I love you. This is how you love me back. Don't covet. If I haven't provided it for you, that means you don't need it. And if it's a long time and you feel like it's something you need, trust me, my grace is sufficient. It really, really is. What does it mean for you to rest in what he's provided and to trust him and not covet? So we're going to keep the conversation going here, and we want you to keep the conversation going there. Listen, it's been an amazing 10 weeks, and as we close tonight, as you take time and talk about areas where you're learning to be content, Also take some time and express great gratitude for the people that you've had the joy and the pleasure of doing this journey with. I mean, these people have been amazing. Y'all have been great. Give yourselves a hand. Like it's been amazing. I pray that you would experience the Father's love, that you would see the Ten Commandments truly as a love story, written in stone. I love the fact that he wrote it in stone. That means it's not going anywhere. You need to know his love isn't going anywhere. Here are 10 ways where you get to learn how to love him back. I hope you've enjoyed this journey, and we look forward to seeing you for the next series. Let's give it up, y'all.